Hello everybody, ciao a tutti and welcome to Art with Ms.B. Today I don't feel at my best. I have like my throat hurt a little bit. My nose is running stiff. This is usually what happens when I go back to school after a long break, such as the summer break, that I'm not used to at such a cold AC and be locked inside a building for many hours. This is exactly what happened to me, but I will feel better because I truly want to feel better and I need to feel calm, regenerated, and with a nice balanced energy. Not too much, because otherwise I would tend to do too many things. Instead, I need to give myself and my mind the time to rest during this weekend. I will accompany you in a beautiful, relaxing practice. For this practice, we are going to use your art journal or a mixed media paper, black regular tip Sharpie, extra fine black Sharpies. If you don't have Sharpie, you can use any other brand. Even a black gel pen would do for the fine lines that we need at the end. I will use my Shadow Art alcohol markers. If you have another brand or if you have just regular markers, you can absolutely practice. I will focus on the color green for the reason that I basically just explained. Is a very therapeutic color and I use it every time that I need to kind of refine that healthy balance between my mind and my body. I will use different tint and tones and shades of the same color, some warmer, some colder, some lighter, some darker. I suggest you to find as many green as you have available. If you don't have many, you can also mix it with a light gray and a dark gray, and it will give you different type of shade. And well, you can mix also with a little like a white, but probably white pencil, because white markers don't really do, anything, like unless they are acrylic markers, but we're not going to use these for those for this practice. I will guide you during the practice at the very beginning, and then there will be a silent moment when we can relax with some music at the end of the pattern. So I will guide you in a sort of a meditative art practice. Please consider subscribing to my channel, share my practices, let me know in the comment if you have any question on how it goes, and I truly hope to find my balance and for you to find your balance as well. And I see you very soon with another practice. Ciao. Okay, I'm going to do my usual frame just because I like to frame my space. I feel that I set a protective boundaries around my design and I feel better. Now I'm gonna kind of try my best to hit the center. It doesn't matter if it's not precisely the center. We're gonna do a small circles and fill it with black. Now we're going to develop diagonal lines that reach all the way to the edge of the space, so the frame that I just created. This line can be more or less equidistant, but once again, it's not a big deal if they are not. We're going to prioritize the spontaneous action of drawing over planning and measuring. Now we have all the right centered, and we are going to go around a couple of times without using a perfect circle, but with a waving type of line that will meet again, and we're going to do the same a second time. Creating this beautiful sort of a spider web. We're gonna put away our black Sharpie, and we are going to work with different type of green. As I told you, I'm going to use different tint, tones and shade of green, and in some cases even like it's the same pure color, like it's the same family, still green, but we are going to explore this color more and more by using different tint and tones and shade. So some greens will be darker, some green will be lighter, some green will be deeper and cooler, some other will be brighter and warmer. and we are going to play around. And if you like one color specifically, such as like I'm kind of obsessed with this color in the box, is called just green, but I feel that it's so rich, and I truly love the green that shadow art markers have. Sometimes, you know, it depends on the brand. The same color, in this case just pure green, as you see, might show different depending on the pigment that they use to make the color. And I truly love this beautiful intense green that shadow art produces. We repeat, as you notice, I'm going to repeat, and I suggest you to do the same. Repeat the same color multiple times. Sometimes you will repeat it only a couple of times, sometimes 3 or 4. Spread it out, of course, and make sure that you don't repeat it in two sections that are close to each other. But I feel that in this way you have a beautiful visual reference between one side and the other side of the pattern, the design. I use this technique for many other things, also when I paint my own things, when I do still lifes. I love to, when I do just an Zentangle, I love to repeat the same color and create some connections. So we can go and switch and go to a completely light green and see what happens. And now, little by little, as we started to feel this spontaneous design and these spaces that we created, we're going to see how different green interact between each other, interact with the paper, the space that we have available, and most of all, how we do interact with this color. How do we feel about these colors that we are putting on this design? Do we feel calm? Do we feel content? Do we feel inspired? Or we feel, I don't know, maybe a little nostalgic, a little sad, sleepy, tired? I personally wanted to use green because green is a color that attracts me a lot, and it is also a color that calms me in a good way because it brings me sort of a nice balance, which, you know, I'm always seeking. Mostly if I don't feel 100% physically, for example, I don't feel 100% just because as I started the school, and for me it's a big shock, and I usually get a sort of a cold, so my nose is running, my throat hurts a little bit, and I don't feel my head also is like, just because spending again so many hours close in an enclosed environment with neon light and with air conditioner that is crazy, because you can imagine the school is big, every teacher has a different temperature, so we all like, I don't like it too cold, some teachers like it extremely cold, and so when I go and I circulate into my classes, when I teach elementary students, of course it's like it's not the best for my body, and I truly resent the fact that I get to spend so much time inside with artificial light, and although there is natural light passing from the windows, we cannot open the windows, so the air that we breathe is just from the air system, from the conditioning system, which is not definitely super healthy and the best for us, but it is what it is. So as I was feeling a little like tired when I woke up this morning, because of course because of my throat I slept not super well, I woke up 3 times just to drink some water. I feel that I need that nice inspiring calm, so I immediately made some room in a day to practice art with you and use my therapeutic art lessons just to make myself feel better. When you have to fulfill these different spaces, I know that of course you want to make the best choice for your design, but remember that the emphasis and the importance is in the process and not the final product. The final product would be beautiful nevertheless, but we want to make sure that we're also pretty spontaneous, so there is not too much planning. We just go around, we see the color, we feel the color, and we decide if we want to use it more, if you want to use it less. When do you want to, where do you want to use it, and so on. But we are spontaneous. We try to look at the color. This is beautiful olive yellow green, so very different from all the green that I've been using so far, and I truly like the contrast that is creating with the colder green. I love that it's bringing some warmth into the design. For sure we repeat it at least 5 times because I truly love these colors, and most of all I love the way that it interacts with these neighbors. I encourage you to take deep breath every time that you can. Bring your attention on the breathing while you do this art exercise. Do it because it is truly important, and it will help you gain whatever is your goal, like the what you want to achieve, you know. Today I want to achieve a better physical health. I want to achieve, I want to feel a little better in my own body. I want to feel energized, but not too much, because I want to really respect the fact that my body needs to rest and heal. So if I feel too energetic, I might risk to do too much. So the goal is to truly listen to myself. If I want to drink more, if I need to drink more, if I want to eat less. If I want to take a nap and sleep. So the green is helping me to listen to myself. I love this radial type of design, still inspired by the spiral, the shape of the spiral, which was my previous design. Still connected with something that repeats itself in a pattern, which is not identical but similar, such as many other patterns that we can find in nature. Think about the pattern, for example, of the waves when they reach the shores, the sand on the beach. You see that pattern changing, but also repeating itself. So there is a little change and there is a little variety, but there is also very strong consistency. And these patterns in nature and also in design that we create, they support a status of meditation when we can go deep into our mind, into our body, and into our soul. And just don't think at anything, actually. Let's see if we can use the deep dark olive green. This one was the light olive green. Let's see how this one will look. Nice. Yes, very still goldish, but dark. Beautiful. And once again, very different from any other green. So I'm going to use this variation to fill my two last space before I leave the colors. And I'm going to switch to my fine Sharpie to create the lines of the pattern inside and the repetition. Now this steps is going to truly let myself enter in this state of meditation in which I try my best to think of nothing that I have to do, nothing that I did, nothing that I have to say, nothing that I want, not a dream, because that is daydreaming, right? It's not the same that just be meditation. In meditation, I'm going to just focus on these lines and my breath. So I'm not gonna talk right now, and I will leave us in quiet. Hopefully you can meditate with me while you finish with me this pattern. And now that we are at the end of our design, filling up the last space, all of these lines with the black, they represent my energetic frequencies. They are the different yet indeed similar. They repeat themselves, they live in balance. They are all like high frequencies. They are in harmony and in peace. And as well as this beautiful design and the different patterns included, they are all in harmony. So is my body, and is my mind, and is my spirit. I feel healthy, I feel good, I feel regenerated, and I feel relaxed. My last little touch to this